Hello and welcome, and I want to talk during this off time of our current situation, at least that in sports, of what I think would be a very interesting idea as we move into the future. And this is about video games and competition. And my idea is, well, people play video games. Let's have them play hockey. And of course, I think this would work in all the major sports: baseball, basketball, football. But companies like EA, Electronic Arts, that well, they pretty much have a monopoly of the games. A good platform to use. What would be a good idea is to run ranked games. And right now, if you're to do this, you'd have to do it relatively fast, like qualifying round one, as I state. And then, how many different teams can we run? I mean, I think 40 is a low number, especially with the amount of player pool that I'm talking about. Because when I'm talking about NHL draft, I'm talking about everybody in the league drafting their team. This could take a while. This could take a couple days even. So be it. Even if it took 3. And I'm not talking about current players, although they count. I'm talking about all the players. It would be really cool to be able to see, like in baseball, have Babe Ruth hitting against Clayton Kershaw or Nolan Ryan. And having all the greats, Mickey Mantle, and that's a baseball, of course. In basketball, having Michael Jordan and James Harden. Well, whatever, how you want to look at it. But for hockey, NHL draft. And what I've done is I've already done a mock draft, or what I think the top 40 would be. So we'll get to the rest of this in a while, but let's have fun, and I'm going to show you who I think is in the top 40. And I know everyone's going to have different opinions, but this is what I feel. So let's start the draft. And I'm going to use my spreadsheet to do this. So with the first pick, I'm going to go with Mario Lemieux, forward who played with the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think he's the greatest player ever to play the game. That's my feeling. I know it's a debate between him and Wayne Gretzky, who I have down as number 2. The third pick, I'm going to go with the Montreal Canadiens great forward, Maurice the Rocket Richard. With my fourth pick, I'm going to go with Bobby Orr, defenseman. I think is the greatest defenseman ever to play the game, and arguably the best player still, as I have him picked as the fourth pick in the draft. The number 5 pick, forward Gordie Howe, a Detroit Red Wings. The Iron Man, maybe of hockey, although Jaromir Jagr, later to be on this list, is an Iron Man as well. Raymond Bourque, very close to Bobby Orr, I think, and the replacement, really. I mean, both of the Boston Bruins legacies. First current player, Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers at number 7. Number 8, the next current player, Sidney Crosby of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then we have another current player, Colorado Avalanche forward Nathan McKinnon, and then forward mostly of the Quebec Nordiques and Colorado Avalanche, I think only actually, Joe Sakic. And then a goaltender, the first goaltender off the board, I think the best goaltender ever to play the game, Dominic Hasek, Buffalo Sabres, Ottawa Senators, Detroit Red Wings. At number 12, forward Bobby Hull, Chicago Blackhawks. And then goaltender Terry Sawchuk after that. Forward David Pastrnak of the Boston Bruins currently, very young player. And Iron Man of hockey again, Jaromir Jagr, played with several teams, starting off with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Jean Beliveau, Montreal Canadiens, I got at number 16. At number 17, current player, might have been spelt wrong, Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers. And at number 18, Edmonton Oilers and then New York Rangers forward Mark Messier. Zibanejad, New York Rangers. This guy is phenomenal. I just think he has to go in the first round here, 19th overall. Patrick Waugh, goaltender, 20th overall. The Montreal Canadiens and the Colorado Avalanche. Montreal Canadian forward Henri Richard in at number 21. Toronto Maple Leafs forward Austin Matthews in at number 22. Goaltender, New Jersey Devils, Martin Brodeur at number 23. Evgeny Malkin of the Pittsburgh Penguins at number 24. Nicholas Lidstrom, defense, at number 25. Brett Hall, son of Bobby Hall, in at number 26. Steve Yzerman, great player, especially as he moved into the defensive form later in his career, but a great all-purpose player. Maybe he's a little, maybe should be a bit higher on the list or lower, depending how you want to look at it. Mike Bossy, number 28 of the New York Islanders. Paul Coffey, defenseman, in at number 29. George Vezina, goaltender, in at number 30. Guy Lafleur, I actually got to see him play live as a New York Ranger, number 31. As he came back at a retirement, a few years off, and then came back and played for the Quebec Nordiques and then the New York Rangers. Detroit Red Wing forward Sergei Fedorov, in at number 32. Marcel Dion, maybe he should be a little bit better on this list too as well. He was a big scoring threat, mainly for the Los Angeles Kings, as was Jari Kurri, primarily of the Edmonton Oilers and Los Angeles Kings. Alex Ovechkin, to me, he's a very, he's not that much of an all-purpose player, which is why I got him down on that list. Very great goal scorer, of course. Awesome on the power play. But I think like a lot of guys like Steve Yzerman, and definitely Joe Sakic was a major all-around player. Chris Chelios, defense, at number 36. And at number 37, forward Daryl Sittler. Some people say that's the worst trade in Leafs history when they got rid of him. Best individual game of all time goes to Daryl Sittler. Got about 1 million points in a game. It was over 10, actually. Million is sarcastic, but over 10 is what he got. Stan Mikita. And I think it was over 10. Might have been 9, but Stan Mikita of the Chicago Blackhawks, in at 38. We get to that. Jack Eichel, Buffalo Sabres, at 39. And Gilbert Perreault of the Buffalo Sabres, in at number 40. So if we were doing a draft, to get Gilbert Perreault, and then of course if this person were to draft again, I would almost do a snake draft that he would get the next pick in the next round. There'd be a lot of great players when we get into that list. Again, I'm just going over what I think the 40 would be, but we'd actually get to see real people drafting these teams. You get to see different combinations, like Wayne Gretzky playing with guys of the modern day and guys of the 50. Howie Morenz will be drafted at some point. It would be really cool. So you get your draft, and then everyone who's playing would set up their depth chart lines. You set up a regular season, which I think we'd probably want to go over a 6 to a 10 week period. We can do things fast. In NHL, you play 82 games, and you want to get as many in as possible, but you need days off because of fatigue, and you don't. You could literally play 2-3 games a day if you wanted with this, but you could definitely put a lot of games and play back-to-backs and double headers, where guys or girls even will be playing multiple games per day, and definitely like 5 days in a row or all 7 days in a week. At least, well, maybe not all 7 days in a week, but you get the point where they can play a lot. And then you can use traditional waivers and free agents, which means like at the end of the day, the waiver wire would determine who gets to pick whatever players, maybe at midnight or something. And then at that point, for the rest of the day, you can pick anyone off. You can release players, sign whoever else. I don't think I'd want trades, really. I really don't think it's needed, especially in situations like this where you're playing one season format. And then you get paid more to win than that of losing. And that means as a player in the regular season, you win, you get paid more than you lose. And the playoffs will do a round of 16, and that's where you get paid more in the playoffs. And of course, each round you get paid more after that. How long you would take it? Well, what I'd want to do is I'd want to set this up so this is on like your TV streams. And of course, nowadays, what do we got showing on ESPN? And in Canada on Sportsnet, TSN, all these Fox Sports, all these channels. Oh, they're showing you the 1993 World Series and the 1992 Stanley Cup and the 2005 NBA Finals and the 2011 Masters Tournament in golf. And 4 years ago, we had this game. Let's show that. And let's show even on the NHL Network, they're showing games from November and December. And they're showing historical stuff. This type of stuff might get ratings in the current format. And then when the season is over, you'd have like 40 teams play. So maybe the top end people who make the Elite Eight, and maybe the top two wild card after that, the best two players after that move on, something of that nature. And then you do more qualifications again to try to get back into this tournament. If you get into the tournament, you're going to get paid. You're going to be having weeks of income that will come in. And of course, it would be the best of the best. So you stream everything. You can stream it on the internet. Now that's a new way of showing content as it is, I believe anyway. So I think we should be moving into something like this. Again, I think this could work with all sports: hockey, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, golf, rugby. I don't know about ratings you get with rugby and other ones, but the ones I just mentioned, the big four plus the other two, as I like to call it, the big four for North America anyway, being hockey, football, baseball, and basketball, and the other two being golf and soccer because they just get a lot of ratings. Hey, curling's big in Canada and some other countries like Sweden, but I've never ever even heard of. And I used to joke around back in the 90s about a curling video game. And actually to this day, and I don't want to Google search it because there probably might be one out there, I have never even heard of a curling game on the video game matter. But for the major sports, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, it'd be really cool to see if Tom Brady gets picked better than, 198 or 199 that he was picked in the 2000 NFL draft. Very, very much near the end of the top 200. And he went on to a top career, and he would be picked in the first round of these ones. Now, I don't think he'd be picked in the top 5 NFL. I'm just trying to think now who I would have as the number 1 overall pick in the NFL. That's a tough one. Who would I pick number 1? I'm thinking Jim Brown, running back. I'm looking on the defensive side, trying to think which defensive player would make the cut. Wide receiver, Jerry Rice. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.